Alright, welcome back everyone, Zaf here for yet another Soul Leveling Rise video. For today's video, we have the Battlefield Time. This is the new one. It's never been done before. The Stone Guardian. It's honestly a pain, but the battle is fairly straightforward. So let me go over the build, what weapons you can use, what hunters work well, their artifacts, etc. And obviously the full battle process from start to finish, telling you what you should look out for. That way you get a fantastic time and you get that ranked #1 spot. And whoopsies. And just really quick, congrats to Smite for the first comment on our last video. Here is your shout out and enjoy your very juicy Discord role, and do join our Discord server, the link will be down below. Now let's see what we ran for the Stone Guardian. He's honestly a very cool boss, but his mechanics are so annoying. So let me just jump in and I'll show you what I ran. So starting things off, we have Jinwoo obviously, and the two weapons I chose was the Orb of Avarice and also Phoenix Soul. These were my picks, but a lot of you won't have Phoenix Soul, of course. It's a new weapon. Only pay-to-win players will have that, so what you can run instead would probably have to be Plum. Plum is a good choice here. It will provide a damage boost to the Avarice, so run Plum and Avarice as your combo. If you don't have Plum, you really have to go for another fire weapon. You can go for the book, that being the Burning Demon's Grimoire. The thing you do have to remember, it's very important, when you have a fire elemental type for this round, you get a 200% damage increase. This is different from what we're used to. Let me hop into, let's say, an Encore mission. Let me find one here. Let's do Instant Dungeon. Let me just hop into this, start, and look at this, 150%. That's why the elemental type advantage is so necessary for this. You get a 50% multiplier on top, which makes it a must. You have to use the right elemental type, otherwise, well, you'll deal a lot less damage, which is not ideal. And also, 1 second, I collected these, not too bad, pretty good rewards. But anyways, going back to this. So these are the weapon choices, that's your best bet. I don't think there's any other alternatives. The next best thing you can run is this, that being the Vulcan's Rage. Otherwise, you should not use anything else. I wonder if Dragon Scale Broadsword would work as well. I'll give it a try later on, just to see what it's like, but for now, using Avarice and Plum, Avarice of Phoenix Soul, I believe that's the best loadout. And for your hunters, you do have some choices here. I do use Emma for a break, very viable here. And for a weapon, obviously, hunter exclusive weapon, I just crafted mine, but if you don't have that, you can go ahead and use an A10 SR or an A10 Rare. For example, you can use this one here. If I scroll down, boom, this one's pretty good, providing us HP and the usual stats. Doesn't really matter for this. You're not using hunters for damage, you're just using them for their support skills, so an A10 Rare will suffice. And you can use Min, of course, as usual. You can use the same weapon as well, the A10 Rare or his weapon. And I do use Maylin for this. You can use Dong So as well, but Maylin is ideal. She removes shields, and the pause on this map after 50% does produce a shield. Super annoying, I know, but it is what it is. So that's why Maylin, in my opinion, is a must, unless you're a super Giga Chad whale. In that case, you can use other hunters, such as Yu So-hyun, if you want to nuke. You shouldn't really use Choi for this. The defense reduction is really not necessary. Once you use Shadow Step, that's all you need. So reducing target's defense is not needed at all. So I think this lineup here, Min with Emma and either Yu So-hyun or Maylin, is the way to go. Other hunters you can use is Dong So, of course, for the shield removal if you don't have Maylin. You can use Cha for the buff if you don't have Min. You can even use Silvermane, he provides an attack buff. So you can use any hunter here that provides a nice buff. And you can also use breakers as well, but the unfortunate thing is there's not really any fire breakers, so you're stuck using the usual. Anyone who can break, unfortunately, Emma is the only fire breaker. Am I right, chat? I think that's correct. I don't recall any other fire breaker, so yeah. Emma is a must for this, and then Min for the passives, and then Maylin, Yu So-hyun, those are all good options. Now let me swap back here and show you the artifacts. And just really quick for shadows, I always go Vigorous, the critical hit rate bonus. Oh, it is just so nice. It makes the run so much easier, and the new Shadow Serbi is one of the best you can use, so make sure you have that equipped. And then for your next slot, you can use your next strongest shadow. For me, I use Blades. Blades is quite strong. you do not in this case want to use Iron. That's just because you're already getting a defense reduction, so, it's not necessary. For Hunter battles, for Battlefield time, Iron is much better, so we use them there. But in this round, I just wanted damage, so I go with Igris, Blades, and Serbi. You can also use Tusk, up to you, whatever shadow you have ranked up. It won't produce too much of a difference, but this lineup worked the best for me, so give it a try. Now, for artifacts, it's quite simple. We went Concentration of Firepower for the CDR reduction and the flat damage bonus. You can also use this artifact here. Let me see if I can find it, but it's not as good. That being the Outstanding ability, pretty decent, but you're not getting that CDR, so it is quite vital for BOT. They just use Outstanding Connection. But the only issue with this one is you're not getting CDR. The CDR is very nice for this run. That's why I use this, Viridescent. It is much better in my opinion. You get less damage, but the CDR, oh my goodness. And CDR is just cooldown reduction, for those of you who don't know. And then as usual, we go a 2 set of anything we want with a 2-piece curse set. You have to remember with curse, the main bonus comes from the 2 set or the 8 set bonus, and we do not normally go with 8 sets. We do want other set effects. So in this case, the 2 set bonus, 10% damage, and also the stacking effect, 0.1% every 1 second for 100 seconds, so a 10% bonus. You should get that towards the end, so very nice. And for that final set, it's kind of up to you which one to use. Toughness is my preferred set, always. In all my BOT runs of Jinwoo, I do use Toughness. The 8% crit is just so viable. You have to remember, our substance do not carry over, so getting that bonus crit in is so good. You can, I guess, run this set here, that being the arm set, but 5% attack versus 8% crit rate. Honestly, this one is better if you spam your runs, because you can do that run that gives you the perfect RNG where you do crit, but I'm not someone that wants to grind that much, so I go with Toughness, making the run much easier. Now for our hunters, this will be the future standard set, and I just realized I messed up on my sets, so no worries, that's why we have this video here. Instead of running this set on min, you should go ahead and use this set here, the new one. I don't know what it's called actually, Angel in White. This gives your strongest team member an 8% damage output increase, so very OP. Let me go ahead and equip that. I actually wonder if I do a rerun, will I get a better time? You know what, I think I will. Totally overlooked that. That's okay though, it happens. That's why you watch these videos. I'll make the mistakes and you learn from them. Perfect. So these sets are ideal here. With Mei Lin, just go the straight blessing set. You'll need one, of course. You don't need multiple blessing sets. But with this set here, this one is one of the new ones. The Sylph's Blessing, I hope I got the pronunciation right. Basically what this says on the 4 set effect is increasing your elemental weakness damage, and it stacks 3 times if you have the 4 set effect. It does last 60 seconds, and it's a 5% bonus times 3, so 15% total. Not too bad if you ask me, one of the better sets we have. And the reason why we use 2 is to get those stacks off ASAP. I believe that's how it works. If it doesn't work that way, I'll do an edit, and do let me know in the comments, of course. We are learning with these new sets, but that's what I use, and it worked out fine, I'm pretty sure. And of course, we run Noble Sacrifice, but of course, you have to note, Emma does lose 8% attack, but that's not useful for her, so this set is perfect. 8% attack, 8% power, 8% total damage, the 15% elemental stack, and of course, the 8 set blessing bonus, increasing the user's damage dealt by 20%. Exactly what we want to see. So, this is the loadout, and for blessing and skills, here you go. Ideally, you want to use Double-Edged Sword, you want to use Pulverize for that bonus break, and also Reawakening for that CR reduction, and lastly, Weakness Detection. These are my favorite ones. I basically run this on all content, so this is ideal. If you're missing any of these, you can use Sharp Perception, you can use Boss Slayer, though not as good, you can use Assassin's Proficiency, though Mana Rampage, although very good, the extra mana cost will be a detriment, so I don't recommend that for this run. And of course, you can use Advanced Dagger Technique. Those are the usual culprits for the best blessing stones to use, so just so you know. And for our skills, these are the only 2 you should use in my opinion. You should be using Crosshairs for vertical arts, that's the best one to go for. And of course, our best Fire Break skill, Armor Break Decimation, providing Almighty Break and a 50% critical damage bonus at the heroic rarity. very, very OP. I wish I had this 2 legendary. Soon enough, I'm sure I'll get it. But this should be the loadout. For skills, there's not too many alternatives. You can go with Death Stance, the Wildfire option, for that bonus fire break. But I don't really see any other options besides maybe this one, for multi-strike, getting that medium break in for fire. But yeah, that should be it. This one works too, but you don't want to ulti, so you're not getting the benefit there. But again, any break skill with Fire Elemental, if you don't want to use the 2 I recommended. But Crosshairs are so good for that AoE damage on those mobs, makes for a very quick run. So yeah, that should be everything covered, I believe. So let's go over the run itself. I'll show you exactly what we do, and then of course I'll do another replay towards the end. This one I'm only recently adding in. I think someone asked, can I get a play-by-play without any pauses? So I'll do that, just so you can watch the run without any pauses for my commentary. I might just say something over it, but you will get the full battle experience. Okay, so here's a battle. It will be at 0.5% speed, that way I can easily commentate over it. So starting things off, we have a lot to cover. The moment you spawn in, even if the screen is black, you have to remember your inputs are still applying. As you can see, it hasn't even been 1 second, and we already used our Malin skill, and we're dashing forward. So you want to dash twice, then use your Avarice. It'll clear all these mobs right away. So you'll see here, boom, bam, 2 dashes and an Avarice applied, and then you want to run to this corner over here. So start dashing, 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 and what you want to do is aim, don't turn. If you turn, the mechanics will mess it up in the game. The aiming mechanics in this game are so bad, so make sure you aim, preferably at this target here, and as you aim, make sure to use one of your hunters. Sometimes I'll mess up and I'll forget, so make sure you don't forget. Use your hunters and then proceed to use crosshairs for all that damage, boom, bam, and we use Min here, I'm assuming, yeah, there's Min, and then start using your Phoenix Bow skill. Be sure to hold it down. You want to see this yellow bar right here, which is covered by all our passives, so make sure you use that skill, and then don't use the core attack. You have to remember, the skill does charge the core attack, so save it. The skill should be enough, and then once you clear those, you want to run, and then here, ideally, you want to use Emma's skill right away, giving you more fire damage, so apply it, and then aim towards the other target. You'll see we'll turn, aiming towards this one, and you want to hug this mob right here. That way, the core attack will still hit this mob, and it'll hit this one as well, basically clearing both targets. You'll see that in just a moment here. I use Emma, get that additional damage in, and then boom, clear both targets. You should do this in around 11 seconds, with all things considered. Now on the next stage, ideally, you do not want auto attack, because if you do, it'll ruin his animation, so don't do that. Just wait for his animation to kick in. I lost probably like 3 to 4 seconds doing that. Terrible move. When he jumps up in the air, dodge, of course. Use Shadow Step. Then you want to use Avarice, ideally. Let's see, do I use that? No. I use Vertical Arts. That's not the right move. Use Avarice, it'll shave off a bunch of time, and then use Vertical Arts, because the animation is so long, but if you use it after Avarice, this animation period won't count, you don't need to wait. So that's the ideal method, and then boom, should be done. And then with the boss, the boss is a pain, let me tell you that much. So you do want to break it ASAP while also saving your Malin skill. You really have to time it. You can use Malin early on if you want to, but honestly, use ASAP. So when we start out, you want to basically dodge the first move, and then once you do that, your Shadow Step is probably not up. If it is, use it. If not, just run towards the enemy, and then use your Almighty Break skill. Boom, bam, applying so much break, and then use your hunters if you want. I kind of do it. I don't know if it's better or worse. Ideally, what I should have done is use Malin and Min at the same time early on, instead of this waiting period, ruining my cooldowns, not ideal. And you want to use Emma, of course, when you can. Using Emma for that break, again, you really have to focus on your hunters. There is a lot going on, I know, but you want to use them ASAP. Again, I'm stalling here, not the best move, just so you can learn from my mistakes. And then boom, there's Emma. Dodging, 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 dealing whatever damage I can. Again, with the Phoenix Soul, you want to hold on the skill, and again, see right there, I used Malin very late, not ideal. I could have probably shaved around 5 to 10 seconds from this run. Just so you note, do become aware of my mistakes, and you want to use your shadows early on, just before that previous break applies. They will start dealing a ton of damage and applying their passive, so boom, Shadow Step, and then apply Armor Break, break the target, and then see here, I would have had Min up, I would have had Malin up as well, so a lot of damage I ended up losing, which is fine, but ideally, you want to use them at the right time. So now we can dish out a ton of damage, use your Avarice, ideally not Vertical Arts, use Avarice first, and then Vertical Arts. Again, in the moment, you're not really paying attention, you're just trying to deal as much damage as possible, and remember, when the target is under 50%, they'll use that shield move, you'll see it in a second here, so I do have to wait for Malin to come up, which is why I said I should have used her sooner instead of waiting. I'm probably losing maybe precious time here, no, not too bad, since I got knocked back, but now I use Malin, use Emma, Shadow Step, you should use the Armor Break skill perfect for that crit damage bonus, and then here use Avarice and then Vertical Arts, but I keep using Vertical Arts first, rookie move, and ideally do not use your ultimate. Your ultimate will add around 10 seconds to your timer, not ideal, do not use it. And then here you want to use your skills, so Phoenix Soul will come up next. I think I'm out of mana, no we're good, so use Phoenix Soul, and then the core attack will probably kill it with Min applied, so make sure to keep an eye on all your hunters, and boom. There we go, a pretty lengthy battle, so I'll run that back again, just so you can watch the full battle at 1x speed, so you're not too confused. I know people do want to see it just play out, so I'll have that replay going in just a moment, but first, make sure to drop your like on the video, that is if you enjoyed of course. Be sure to subscribe as well if you want more content like this, and leave a comment with any tips or concerns or any questions you might have. So let's do the replay. Let me just find it here with a few runs in this battle. Let me just quickly find it. This one should be it. Let me replay back. Just give me a moment and you can watch the full battle and the video will end so right here. Alright everyone, enjoy.